Good morning. How many of you are sick and tired of hearing about our current coronavirus situation? I know I am. I'll be giving a speech today on our current epidemic. I have 4 main points: information about coronavirus, how it started, flattening the curve, and new findings. This virus is unlike anything we have previously seen. So far, since they were discovered in the 1960s, there have been 7 viruses total that fall under the category of coronaviruses. The term corona comes from a Spanish word for crown, and it's called this because it has crown-like spikes, or the proteins that attach to the cell bodies and attack them. The worst epidemic that has happened related to coronavirus is the SARS epidemic of 2008, which happened during the last presidential election. All the previous coronaviruses have been vaccinated to this day or treatable, but this coronavirus is the most contagious of them all. It mutates rapidly. Since it started, it has mutated several times, but I will get into that later. How it started. It either started in wet markets or it started potentially as a bioweapon made from China. But that is just skeptical. They're a conspiracy theory. When it started in Wuhan, China, announced on December 31st, but the first confirmed case was announced on December 11th. This is a period of 2 weeks that it could have been announced to the public and saved thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lives. This is crucial, and it could have been stopped. It could have been contained by that point. My next topic will be how it started. This background knowledge that I previously covered brings us to how it potentially got started. If it started in the wet markets, it was started by bats and pangolins, which are sold in these markets that can carry COVID-19. They're sold in extremely unclean conditions. They're soaked in blood, and there's bugs everywhere, which can also carry other diseases. These unclean conditions that they are sold in can only prevent the further spread of diseases and coronavirus. It claims to have started from a man eating a bat that came from these markets, and he caught the disease and spread it to others and others and others. But if it was created as a bioweapon, it was created in a lab. It was extracted from a bat and used as a weapon to decrease the population of China, which to this day is 1.3 billion. It was also created to stop protests. The protests were going on because the Chinese people wanted a reformation. They wanted a democratic legislation to protect them and govern them from their government, who was beating them in the streets in order to stop the protests. It could have also been created to attack the world economy, to hurt the U.S., which is leading in the economy, or to benefit China, which was already doing good before this. But despite how it started, fighting their virus remains the same: flattening the curve. This will be my third topic. Symptoms. Symptoms of coronavirus include dry cough, fever, and tiredness. The fever can get very high in extreme cases, which is a leading cause of death, besides pneumonia. Pneumonia can set in after days or weeks of having the virus. The only way that we can prevent further spread is safety measures. Stay at home if possible. Don't go out and hang out in social gatherings, or if you can work from home, work from home. Good hygiene. Wash your hands regularly, shower regularly, disinfect frequently touched objects, clean your house, period. Make sure everything that you touch is clean, disinfected, and it can only help. Keep distance from others. The CDC recommends to stay 6 feet away from other people and to avoid crowds larger than 10 people. If you stay at home, you can beat all these, honestly. treatments. Treatments and the current treatments for this are skeptical, but the number one thing that's talked about is hydrochloroquine. It's a medicine used to treat malaria, and at first, Trump and Fox News supported it, claiming that, they had cases where it was effective. But studies released yesterday show it to be ineffective, and if not only being ineffective, it might actually harm the host while they have coronavirus. Another thing that's talked about is using pure oxygen to breathe. Coronavirus attacks the lungs, mainly. Dry cough, inability to breathe, chest pain. So using pure oxygen treats infections and stubborn wounds. So the goal is to fill the blood with enough oxygen to fight off these coronavirus bodies and allow the person to breathe ably and hopefully them shake it. There is vaccine in the making, though. It's being worked on by many countries. But the second largest pharmaceutical company in the world yesterday said that it may not be available until 2022. And that's just possibility. It might come around, it might not. This brings me to my fourth topic, which is new findings. A second wave. The CDC warns of a second wave of coronavirus coming around in the fall. They say that it might be stronger than the first wave if precautions are not made. And it's just a coincidence that it falls within the same season with the flu, which kills a lot more people than coronavirus on a daily basis, on a yearly basis. Mutation. Since coronavirus started, it has mutated 30 different times, 30 different strains. This was uncovered in China, where they swabbed the mouth of everybody that was infected with, a lot of people that were infected with coronavirus, and looked at the structure of that coronavirus to see if it was a new strain. 19 new strains were discovered from that. That means 11 were previously known. 4 million tests were given in the U.S. alone. But the CDC says that it needs to bump that number way up in order to ensure that more people don't get sick. And the state of California actually announced that they are testing everyone, even if they do not show symptoms or if they haven't been in contact with anybody who has the coronavirus. States reopening the economy. Experts warn against it, and they say it's too soon, that it needs to happen in June or July, if then. But states like Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, they want to open back up their economy at the beginning of May. Tennessee is actually doing it on May 1st, trying to. And Georgia has one of the largest confirmed cases states, at 20,000 confirmed cases in Georgia alone, and 5,000 in South Carolina. And they're the ones pushing to open up their economy as fastly as possible. By informing others about this virus, we can help others to remain healthy and prevent further spread. Knowledge in quarantine is the only way to eradicate this novel coronavirus. I want to restate my 4 main points. Information about coronavirus, how did it start, flattening the curve, and new findings. Staying in quarantine is the biggest impact that we can have on this coronavirus situation. We can decrease the longevity of this virus if we stay home, if we take these precautions. We have beat the previous coronaviruses, and we can beat this one too. Thank you. Have a good day.